Today, we're going to continue with competitive bidding. Last week, we looked at the simple overcall. Simple overcall is where you bid your suit at the lowest level possible, and you suggest a possible trump suit should your side win the contract. Other bids are available. If you do a jump bid in your suit, it's known as the preemptive jump overcall. That was from the April 5th lesson. I'll probably return later on in a couple weeks or so and look a little bit more at preemptive jump overcalls. And then the other kinds of bids you have are to show two suits. Two suits with one bid shows two suits. That would be your unusual 2-no trump, Michael's Q bids, and also the sandwich no trump, which I have not put there. But the focus now is on simple overcall, is where you simply bid your suit at the lowest level that you can make the bid. Now, last week we talked about reasons for why you might want to make an overcall. Just because they have opened the bidding does not mean that it's their hand. You want to make that overcall if you can to get your side into the auction. So when a person opens, you have three choices. You can pass, you can make the takeout double that we looked at about a month ago, or you can make the overcall, the simple overcall. So you want to get in there, get your bid in, let your partner know that you have something in this suit. Another reason why, a good reason, is to obstruct their auction. Most people, most pairs, if you leave them alone, they know their bidding system well enough that they get to the correct contract at the correct level. But if you put a bid in, such as an overcall, you jam the bidding and maybe they have a little more difficulty making the bid they want to make to show their hand. For example, I know last week, twice, my partner opened, I believe, a diamond, and I wanted to make the reverse flannery, either the 2-heart or the 2-spade bid, showing 5 spades and 4 hearts. Could not do so because the next person put a bid in, and I'm ready to smack him because I couldn't make the bid I wanted to make. So you can cause a lot of problems for the opponents if you get a bid in, if you make an overcall. Now they have to readjust to be able to describe their hand, get to the right contract if the hand is in fact their hand, or how high to go. Also, a third reason is if they win the contract, the other side wins the contract, it gives your partner a possible idea of what might be a good lead, perhaps to lead your suit. And then finally, if you think that you have a chance to sacrifice, and you know a sacrifice is where you bid one level higher, you know that you can't make it, and you're probably going to get double, but you're going to get probably a better score by going down low at less than letting them make their contract. So these are 4 really good reasons for why you want to make that overcall. We talked also about reasons why you don't want to make the overcall. Perhaps you'll be jammed in between the opener and the responder, and they'll double you and you go for a big number. Or it might give the declarer a better chance to know how to figure out how she's going to play the hand, knowing that you've made a bid. So all of those are reasons why maybe not, but I do feel that it's more important to get that overcall in if you can, despite maybe the couple of things that might go wrong. All right, when you overcall to 2 level, you need to have different criteria than just simply overcalling at the 1 level. On your convention card, on the back, you have a place for the simple overcall, what your range is. Most people play 8 to 15, but experts and probably sometimes they go as low as 6. I think 7 is the lowest most people go, up to a range of 17. I think a good range probably is 8 to 15. Overcalling it to 1 level, you don't need quite as many points, and you don't need quite as good a suit. You do need a 5-card suit anytime you make an overcall, but it's easier to make the overcall at the 1 level than at the 2 level. At the 2 level, you need to have at least a good 5-card suit and an opening hand, 11 or 12 points. You would have opened the hand had you had the opportunity. You don't have the right shape to make a takeout, so you make the overcall. If you don't have but 11 points, you need to have at least a good 6-card suit. Don't ever scrimp on those bids. If you overcall it to 2 level and you've got a 5-card suit, you need to have at least 12 maybe 12 or 13 high card points in that 5-card suit. If you have just a 6-card suit and 11 high card points, then I think you can overcall to 2 level. But you want to be very careful overcalling at the 2 level with a ratty suit. Partner's going to come off leading that suit, and it could be very, very bad. All right, if you have more than 17 high card points, you first start, they open, you make the takeout double, and then you bid your suit, or you bid no trump at some level, and that tells your partner that you have a really big hand. So I want to repeat, do not overcall at the 2 level with a 5-card suit, a minimum lousy queen, 10, 9, 8, X 5-card suit, and on 11 count. You are asking for trouble, and your opponents, if they are good players or not even good players, you can get into a lot of trouble. All right, now when your partner makes an overcall, opener's bid, your partner's overcalled. You want to try to bid. You are known as the advancer. You are the 4th person to bid to this hand. You are the advancer, so that everybody's clear on who I'm talking. The opener, your partner's made the overcall, then you have the responder, and then you are the advancer. So when your partner makes an overcall, you want to try to make a bid if you possibly can. What is a good guide to use in making your bid, and we're going to be looking at the various bids you can make, is the law of total tricks. Now, I know most of you know about this, but the law of total tricks basically says you bid to the level of the known number of trumps that you have between the 2 hands. So if you know your partner make an overcall, ought to have at least 5. No overcalling on a 4-card suit, please. You ought to have at least 5, and you've got 3. You ought to be able to bid at least compete to the 2 level. If you've got 4, you ought to be able to compete to the 3 level. And maybe if you've got 5, maybe compete to the 4 level, because you know you've got 10 trumps between the 2 of you. So that law of total tricks is going to be a very important guide to you in making the decision on what you are going to bid. All right, let's look at the bids. Your partner's overcalled, and let's say that the responder has passed, and here we go in the bids that you can make. If you have nothing, you can't make a bid. Don't fool your partner by making a bid. You have nothing to bid. If they've opened and your partner's overcalled, and say the next guy bids, there's not much left for you to have. So it's always correct to put the green card out there and pass. If you simply raise your partner, let's say the guy's opened a club and your partner bids a spade and you bid 2 spades. This is known as a simple raise. It's showing 3 cards, and it's called a constructive bid. And I'm going to give you the definition of constructive bid. It's showing 3-card support and somewhere between 8 to 10 total points. Now, remember, when you have a fit, you can count distribution a little bit there, but you are showing 3-card support, and you're showing somewhere between 8 to 10 total points, not high cards, but total points, remembering that you can count your distribution. A jump raise. If they bid a club, your partner bids a spade, and you bid 3 spades, this is known as a good preempt. You've got at least 4-card support. You probably got some shortness somewhere, maybe in the club suit. You do not promise any defense. You're just simply trying to jam the bidding. The next bid that you can make is called the simple Q bid. If they have bid a club, your partner bids a spade. If you bid 2 clubs, you are telling your partner, I have 3+ cards. You have at least 3, but you can have more than 3. And I have game invitational bids. It's called a limit raise. You've got 10 or 11 points, and you've got at least 3-card spade support, if spades is what your partner overcalled. The jump Q bid is the mixed raise that we have been talking about. This would be a club, your partner bids a spade, and instead of bidding 2 clubs, which shows the limit raise with 3+, you bid 3 clubs. The 3 clubs is a jump Q bid, and it shows 4+ cards in your partner's suit. It shows 7 to 9 points, and it shows a trick on defense. You're promising 1 defensive trick. So if they bid on and your partner doubles, he's counting on you. Now, if you've got a whole bunch of spades between the 2 of you, likelihood you might not get more than 1 spade. But when you make that mixed raise by making that jump Q, You're telling your partner, I can guarantee you I got one trick on defense if we're defending this hand. Should your partner decide to double, he can count on you for one trick. All right, now we look into the situation where the opponents have bid two suits. Let's say the guy's opened a club and your partner bids a spade, let's let him bid a heart. And let's say the responder bids a spade. So they have bid clubs and spades, and your partner has overcalled a heart. If you Q bid at the lower level, you're saying you have 3-card support and game invitation. You Q bid at the higher level, you're saying you have 4-card support and game invitation. Now I have an illustration later on in hand that will show this is a little bit confusing. It's not the rank necessarily, because certainly spades would outrank clubs. It's the level at which you have to bid to show whether you have the 3-card support or the 4-card support. And I have hopefully a good example that'll make that clear later on. So when they bid 2 suits and you have a game invitational hand, you have a way to show whether you have 3 cards in your partner's suit or whether you have 4 cards in your partner's suit and a game invitational hand. That can be a very, very valuable bid for you, and one that I'm sure you're probably not using, but we want to start trying to use it a little bit more. So it's not always the rank, but the level at which you have to make that cue that shows whether you have the 3-card support or the 4-card support. If you have no support for your partner's spades or whatever he or she has bid, overcalled, and you have anywhere from 9 to 11 points, you can bid a no trump. If you have anywhere from 12 to 14, you have a stopper, you can bid 2 no, and the unlikely situation, you had 15 to 17 and your partner's overcalled, you can bid 3 no trump. Now you make the no trump bid when you do not have support for your partners. Maybe you got a doubleton or even a singleton, but you have stopper or stoppers in the enemy suit. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where they would open your partner overcalls and you would bid 3 no trump, but there the bid is for you if it ever comes. All right, let's look down at the situation. They have opened, your partner's overcalled, and you are the advancer and you bid a new suit, either at the 1 level or at the 2 level. Question is, when does your partner have to make another bid? If your partner overcalls at the 1 level and you make a bid that is also at the 1 level, it is forcing for 1 round. So let's say they open a club, your partner bids a diamond, and you bid a heart. You see, you're still at the 1 level. Me, as the overcaller, I have to make 1 bid. I'm forced to bid for one round when you overcall at 1 level. If you overcall at the 2 level, let's say it's been a club, partners bid a diamond, and you bid 2 spades. That's at the 2 level. That would be a weak jump overcall, and it would be showing a 6-card suit, and you do not have to make a bid. You, as the overcaller, you do not have to. But if your partner, the advancer, overcalls at the 1 level, and you have overcalled to 1 level, he's bid a new suit over your suit, you do owe him 1 bid, 1 round only. If your partner is overcalled at the 2 level, maybe they have opened a spade and your partner's bid 2 clubs. Let's say you bid 2 diamonds. You do now have to, you as the overcaller, you owe your partner 1 bid. If your partner bids at the 3 level, maybe I have overcalled 2 clubs. Let's say my partner bids 3 hearts. That is a weak jump overcall showing a bunch of hearts. You do not have to make a bid. So let's say that your partner, the advancer, does overcall either to a new suit at the 1 level or at the 2 level. If you hold honor X in his suit or 3 little ones, raise his suit. You've got to make 1 bid. You owe him 1 bid. So if you got honor X in his suit or 3 little ones, raise his suit. Otherwise, just rebid your suit. That's about all you can do. All right, before we look at now some example hands, let's go back through some of the definitions. This law of total tricks. The theory behind this is that the total number of tricks that are going to be made on this hand between you and the opponents will be the total number of trumps that's held between the 2 hands. So let's say that, for example, let's say that you and your partner have 9 hearts between the two of you, and that the opponents, let's say, have only 8 spades. So there are going to be 17 total tricks available to the both sides in this hand. So if you can make 3 hearts and these guys bid 3 spades, presumably they're going to go down 1 trick. They cannot make their 3 spades. And it's surprising how well that does work. It plays out. You might try to keep account of it sometime and just see if they are either sacrificing or they're hoping they can make it and they go down. So the law of total tricks helps you to compete in auctions if you have an accurate count on the total number of trumps held by your side. If you know that your side has a 10-card trump suit, you can compete to the 4 level. Of course, you're going to always be watching the vulnerability level. So it works very well. The only thing that causes the problem, sometimes you don't know if they have a side suit. They've got a side suit, and maybe they only got 8 trumps between them in their suit. If you compete too high, you may get into trouble because, or you try to double them, they may have a side suit they're going to run, and that may cause you to get a bad board. But if you're just trying to keep account of how many trumps presumably each side has, that's a good guide on how high you can compete. A constructive raise, I know you hear this all the time. If your partner is overcalled a heart or a spade, and you raise to 2 hearts or 2 spades, it shows exactly 3 hearts or 3 spades, and it shows somewhere between 8 and 10 high card points. Now, this is for the overcall. That is called, that's known as what we call a constructive raise. And the preemptive raise, of course, always promises 4 cards in your partner's suit, but and probably got some shortness somewhere. I would say some shortness somewhere, but it does not promise any kind of defense other than I've got 4 trumps, at least 4 trumps for your partner. The mixed raise is the one that I want you all to start using as much as you can. This is the one that shows 7 to 9 high card points, at least 4 cards in your partner's suit, and it does promise 1 defensive trick. The mixed raise is a little bit stronger than the preemptive raise, but it's a little bit weaker than the limit raise, showing a simple cue where you would be showing at least 3 card support, 3 plus support, and 10 or 11 high card points. So it's put right in between the preemptive raise and the limit raise. All right, now I want to go ahead and look at some hands here, which I hope will illustrate some of these different kinds of bids that you can make. The first hand, West is open to club. Your partner has overcalled 1 spade. East passes, and you bid 2 spades. Now I've got the asterisk there, but that's not that it does not have to be alerted. It's just saying this is an example of a simple raise. You have 9 high card points. You have 9 high card points, and you have 3 spades. That's all you're saying. This is the constructive raise that I just now talked about. It shows exactly 3 cards in spades, and it shows somewhere between 8 and 10 high card points. So that's the simple raise. That's all you can do with a hand like that. The next hand, the guy opens a club, your partner overcalls a spade. Passed by the responder, 3 spade bid by you. This is the preemptive raise. It shows at least 4 spades. It does not promise a single defensive trick on the outside. You might get the queen of diamonds, and you might get something with the king of clubs, but it's not really promising a certain defensive trick. Does show some shortness. That's about what you would expect for a preemptive raise. All right, let's come down to the simple Q bid. The third hand, again, we've opened a club. They've opened a club. Your partner's overcalled a spade, pass, and you bid 2 clubs. This is the simple Q bid. You have 10 high card points. You have 3 spades. So when you do 2 clubs, which is the simplest Q you can make, 2 clubs, it tells your partner you have 3 clubs, you have 3 spades, and you have a game invitational hand. Should your partner have overcalled and has the 15, 16, or 17 point hand, he will know that you have at least 10 or 11, and he will also know that you have 3 spades, and exactly 3 spades. And he can decide whether to go to 4 spades, whether to go to 3 spades, asking you if you're at the top of yours to go to 4 spades or whatever. If they bid again to say 3 clubs, and he makes that what we call a double, that's the maximal double. He's saying, I'm at the top of my overcall range of spade. I've got 16 points. If you got 9 or 10, go to 4. If not, bid 3 spades. So that's going back to that maximal double we talked about. All right, let's look at the jump cue bid now. West is open to club, partner's overcalled a spade, passed by the responder, and instead of bidding 2 clubs is a simple cue. It shows 3+ cards, and it shows a limit raise. Number 4, when you bid 3 clubs, this shows the mixed raise. And let's look at the hand. Requirements for a mixed raise: 4 cards at least in the partner suit. You do have 4 spades. You have between 7 to 9 high card points. In this hand, you have 8 high card points, so you meet that criteria. And you do have at least 1 defensive trick. The king, queen of diamonds will produce at least 1 trick. So that is the jump cue. That is the mixed raise. That's probably the best example I can give you of a mixed raise. All right, now I'm coming down to 5. I have 4 examples here, 5A, B, C, and D. And we need to go through these carefully because I think it's probably going to cause a little bit of confusion for you, but I think you're going to need to go over these, and maybe I can come back later in another lesson and give you some more examples. In 5A, West is open to club. Your partner has overcalled a heart. And all the other examples, we've had East pass, the responder pass. But East is bidding a spade. So this is an example of where where they have bid 2 suits. How can you, the advancer, show what you have? Now let's look at your hand. You have, in example A, 5A, you have 11 high card points, and you have 3 hearts. So you have the limit raise in hearts. If East had not bid a spade, then you would have simply bid 2 clubs to say, partner, I have 3+ cards and I have a limit raise for you in hearts. And that is the hand that you have. Okay, now they have bid 2 suits. A bid of 2 clubs shows exactly the same thing. It shows a 3-card limit raise, 3 and only 3. Whereas let's say East had passed and you bid 2 clubs, you could have 3+ hearts and a limit raise. But when that second bid comes in there, that spade bid comes in, now when you bid 2 clubs, you are saying, I have 3 cards. I have 3 hearts for you, partner, and I have 10 or 11 high card points. So if you look at your hand, you do have 3 hearts, and you do have, in this hand, you have 11 high card points. So you have the limit raise. You bid 2 clubs. Your partner knows that you have 3 hearts and that you have about 10 or 11 points. Now let's contrast that to 5A. Trying to go slowly through this. I can go back over it again. They open a club, your partner bids a heart. Let's come down and see your hand. Now you have 4 hearts and you have 11 high card points. Instead of bidding 2 clubs, you bid 2 spades. You're bidding the higher of the 2. When you bid 2 spades, you have your choice of either bidding 2 clubs or bidding 2 spades. When you cue bid 2 spades, you tell your partner that you have exactly 4 of her hearts and you have a limit raise 10 or 11 high card points. So when they bid 2 suits, by the cue that you make, whichever suit you bid, you're showing either 3 cards or you're showing 4 cards in your partner's suit. So 5A, you have 3, you bid 2 clubs. That shows 3 cards, exactly 3 cards on a limit raise. In 5B, you have 4 hearts. So you cue bid 2 spades. Now your partner knows you had a chance to bid either 2 clubs or 2 spades. So she should be able to differentiate when you bid 2 spades and know that you have 4-card heart support. Now, 5C and 5D are going to be maybe a little bit challenging, and they are very difficult for me to get. They have opened a diamond. Your partner overcalls a heart. The responder bids 2 clubs. And now let's see what you're going to bid. In the 5C, you have 3 hearts. And you have a limit raised. You have the 11 high card points and you have 3 hearts. The bid that you make is 2 diamonds. 2 diamonds says that you have exactly 3 hearts and that you have a limit raised to your partner. Now let's go ahead and look at D. D, they have opened a diamond, partner's overcalled a heart, and they responder bids 2 clubs. Now you have 4 hearts and you have the limit raised. The way you show that you have 4 is you have to bid 3 clubs. So you recall back to when I talked about the responses that you can make. If they have bid 2 suits, it's the level at which you bid. In 5C and 5D, it's the level at which you bid that shows either 3 card support or 4 card support. In 5C, you don't have but 3. You have 3 hearts. You have 11 high card points. You bid 2 diamonds. Your partner knows you have 3 hearts and 10 or 11 points. In D, 5D, when you bid 3 clubs, you have bid 1 level higher. You have to bid at the 3 level. You are promising 4 hearts and 10 or 11 high card points for your partner. So 5C and 5D are a little bit hard for you. 5A and 5B, you can Q bid 2 clubs to show the 3 card limit raise. 5B, you can bid 2 spades to show the 4 card limit raise. There you can use the rank. But in 5C and 5D, the only way you can differentiate between 3 card limit raise and a 4 card is the level at which you Q. So if you Q bid 2 diamonds, then you're showing 3 card support. If you Q bid 3 clubs, higher level, you're promising 4 card limit raise. And so go back to your law of total tricks. If you know your partner's got at least 5 hearts and you've got 4 there in 5D, the law of total tricks says you can bid to the 3 level. And so 3 heart, your partner knows you've got 4. He will bid 3 hearts or 4 hearts depending on his hand. So you're going to have to look at the bids there in 5A, B, C, and D, but they make a lot of sense and they will help you compete 100% better maybe than you've been able to if you've not been aware of all of these bids. Now in C and 6, number 6, they open a club, partner bids a spade. You don't have it 2 spades, but you do have 11 high card points. You do have a stopper in the club suit. And so your bid is 1 no trump. So remember, when you can't support all these other bids are showing support for your partner's suit. When you don't have but 2 spades or less than 2 spades, but you've got stoppers or a stopper in their suit, the enemy suit, then the call you want to make is 1 no trump. What I'm wanting to tell you, to emphasize to you, is that when your partner makes an overcall, you want to try as best you can to compete. You can pass, and you should pass. But if you've got support for her suit, you want to try to show if you have 3 card support, 4 card support, or whatever level of support you have. By these Q bids, or by making the jump raise to show a preempt, or by jump Q to show that you have a mixed raise. If they bid 2 suits, such as in all the examples there in 5A, B, and C, and D, you have an opportunity to show by what you bid, which suit you Q, whether you have 3 card support or 4 card support. All right, I want to talk just a little bit more about the mixed raises because I think this is such an important bid for you. When you make the mixed raise, you do the jump Q, and I think this is one you all are familiar with. When they have opened the hand and your partner bids a suit, if you do a jump Q, you're showing 4 card support, 7 to 9 high card points, and promising at least 1 defensive trick, 1 trick on defense. It's stronger than a preempt, but it's weaker than a Q bid. All right, let's look at the first example. The opener is opened a diamond, and your partner has overcalled 1 heart. Responder passes. When you bid 3 diamonds, you have done a jump Q. You are showing the mixed raise. So look at your hand. requirements. You have 4 hearts. You know your partner's got at least 5, so you've got the 9 card fit. You can bid safely to the 3 level. You do have at least 1 defensive trick. The king, queen of clubs is going to produce at least 1 trick. And you do have 7 high card points, which is in the range that you need. 7 to 9 high card points. So that is a perfect example of a mixed raise. All right, let's show now what a good preempt would look like. Partner, they have opened a diamond, partner's over called a heart. Here again, you have 4 hearts. You don't have the kind of hand to make the jump cue bid of 3 diamonds, because that would promise a mixed raise. That would promise 4 hearts. It would promise 1 trick on defense, and it would promise somewhere between 7 and 9 high card points. Of course, with distribution, you can get it into that range, but you don't have a defensive trick. So if you lie to your partner and he doubles them, if they bid on to say 4 diamonds or whatever they bid, and he doubles thinking that you've got a defensive trick, then it may turn out not so well for your side. So the preempt, you do have at least 4 hearts, and you're jamming the bidding. That's all you're doing. Perhaps maybe just even sacrificing. All right, let's look at the second example. And I'm going to look at a complete hand here. East is the dealer. She has 14 high card points. So everybody look at East's hand for now. She opens 1 club. She has 12 high card points. The South hand, you know, I said previously, you don't want to overcall it to 2 level with a ratty suit. Your diamond suit is horrible. But you see, you have 14 high card points. You have so many points. You have got to get in the bidding. You don't have the right kind of shape to make a takeout double. For a takeout double, you would need to have at least 3 spades and 3 hearts. When you make a takeout double of a club, presumably you're at least 4-3 in the majors, and you certainly don't have that kind of hand. But you have 14 high card points. You've got to get in the bidding. So I think you bid 2 diamonds with this hand. Now we come over to the West hand. If you had not bid, if the South hand did not bid, he would begin by bidding a spade. He has 5-5 in the major, so you know you're going to bid your spades first. He will bid a spade. So East is open to club. Your partner has bid a diamond, and West has bid a spade. Now let's look at your hand. You are the North hand. What do you hold? You have 4 diamonds. You know your partner has at least 5. She should probably have 6. So you have 8 high card points, and hopefully that king of spades will be a defensive trick. So you have the requirements needed for the mixed raise. A bid of 3 clubs by you says that you have the mixed raised hand. Now that might be, you're saying, okay, well, why can't I do? All right, let's say if open a club, partner bids a diamond, the next guy bids a spade, and you bid 2 clubs. If you bid 2 clubs, you're saying that you have 3 card support and a mixed raise. I mean, a limit raise. Well, you don't have that. If you were to bid 2 spades, you would be saying, I have 4 diamonds, partner, and I have a limit raise. So the fact that you bid 3 clubs, that is showing the mixed raise, showing 4 diamonds, showing 7 to 9 high card points, and hopefully that king of spades will be the 1 defensive trick that you're promising. So by your bid of jumping to 3 diamonds, it shows 4 diamonds, 3 clubs, I'm sorry, shows 4 diamonds, 7 to 9 high card points, and hopefully the king of spades is your defensive trick. If you bid 2 clubs, you're showing 3 diamonds and a limit raise. You bid 2 spades, you're showing 4 diamonds and a limit raise. But see, you don't have that kind of hand. You have 8 high card points. You have the mixed raise. So you bid 3 clubs. You certainly don't want to be bidding 3 spades. 3 spades is not your bid. 3 clubs is the only bid you have to show the mixed raise with this hand. All right. Now I want to show you, end up with a couple of more bids that you can make. Example 3, they have opened a diamond. Your partner has overcalled a spade, and you look at your hand yourself, the next hand passes, or it doesn't matter if she passes or not. Let's say she does pass. A bid of 4 clubs by you says that you have a singleton in the club suit, a singleton or a void, and that you have at least 4 card support for your partner's suit. So look at your hand. Your partner has overcalled. You have 10 high card points. You have the singleton club. You have 4 wonderful spades. So you have about a 12 or 13 point hand in support of your partner's spades. You know that you have at least a 9 card fit. And so you know you can compete to the 4 level. When you make the splinter bid, it tells your partner you're a lot stronger than if you made a mixed raise or if you did something else. So she's going to either bid 4 spades, or she may, even if she's overcalled with 17, and she does have 17, the fact that she knows you have the singleton club may not be helpful because she's got 6 points in the club suit. But if she didn't have a lot of points in the club suit, has her points outside and had 17 high card points, she should probably launch in to check back, see if you've got a slam. With this hand, I think you're probably just going to be in 4 spades. I don't know. But anyway, the splinter bid comes up frequently when you have support for your partner and you have a singleton or void. You can bid at the 4 level to show that. It perhaps should be alerted, the splinter bid. Although ACBL is saying bids at the 4 level, you don't have to alert them anymore, because that gives your partner, if I go alerting the 4 club bid, that's telling my partner, hey partner, I got a singleton or void. So when you're playing face to face, I think they don't want you to alert those bids. But I think online they are expecting you to say that she has a splinter. All right, I want to look at example 4 and contrast it to example 3. Here, West has opened a club. Your partner has overcalled a heart, passed by the responder. Even though you have a singleton club, your bid on this hand is 4 hearts. You have 5 hearts. You know your partner's got 5 hearts at least. You have a 10 card heart fit. 4 hearts is your bid. You don't want to make the splinter bid. You make the splinter bid in number 3 because that shows a much stronger hand and spade support. But when in number 4, you just got a bunch of hearts, you know you got at least a 10 card fit, you would not make a 4 club bid here to show a splinter. Your bid is 4 hearts in number 4. So number 3, you want to make the splinter bid because you have extra. You have 4 card spade support and you have extra. If your partner's at 17 at the top of his overcall, I don't think on his hand he would go much further because see, he's got 6 points in the club suit. So your splinter in clubs is not going to help him. If perhaps you showed a splinter in diamonds, say 4 diamonds, then now I think he would be very interested in pursuing maybe bidding 4 no trump key card, asking for your key cards. So I just wanted to show you there are other competitive bids that you can make. Next week, I want to look at the support doubles and redoubles. You have opened 1 club, let's say, and your partner bids a heart and the next hand bids a spade. If I double, I am telling my partner that I have exactly 3 hearts, 3 hearts. When I bid a club and partner bids a heart, he is promising only 4 hearts. So if I raise his hearts to 2 hearts, I'm saying I have 4. But when that bid is put in, if I bid 2 hearts, I'm saying I have 4. Say I only have 3. The way I tell my partner I have 3 is I make a double. That tells my partner I have 3. Let's say I've bid a club, my partner bids a heart, and there is a double by the next person. If I redouble, I'm telling my partner the same thing. I'm telling him that I have 3 heart support. So we're going to be looking at those bids next week. So I will look forward to seeing all of you next week. Let me go ahead and stop record because, but we do have a hand that Preston sent in, which I can go ahead and include that on the record part or do it separately. How do y'all want to do it? I think it's got enough good stuff. It would be good to be in the recorded part. So if you all are all right, I'm going to go ahead and continue recording. All right, Preston Collins sent in the following hand. This was his hand. So he has 13 high card points. If he had been the opener, he would have opened a heart with this hand. But his partner, and I don't know who his partner was, but I'm sure it was one of you guys. His partner opened 2 no trumps, showing 20 to 21 high card points. Preston's looking at 13 high card points. He knows that your side has enough for a small slam. He has 13. If you have just 20, you have 33, which is the minimum that you need for a small slam. So Preston already knows this hand is going to be in a small slam, at least. So he holds a 5-card heart suit. So what he should do first is to see if you have a heart fit. So I think he should bid 3 diamonds, the Jacoby transfer showing 5 hearts. When he made that bid, his partner bid 4 hearts. So what his partner is saying is, I have super max, partner. I have 4 hearts. And there's not much difference between 20 and 21 high card points, but I think he would make the 4 heart bid showing 4 hearts, telling you that that he has 4 hearts and he has a super max. Well, as I say, you already know he's got either 20 or 21 high card points. At this point, Preston is the captain. You know the 2 no trump person's hand. You know your partner has either 20 or 21 high card points. You know your partner has 4 hearts. You are now the captain on this hand, trying to find out where you're going to set the final contract. Preston is the captain at this point. So you would want to do the check back that we talked about when you're in slam bidding. You know you have a slam, you want to check back, make sure you're not off to quick tricks. So if you play kickback, then if you bid 4 spades, you're asking for key cards. If you play key card blackward, then 4 no trump would be asking for key cards in the heart suit. So whichever system, check back system you have, you're going to find out that your partner holds 3 key cards. And those 3 cards would specifically, if he holds 3 key cards, you know exactly what they are. It has to be the ace of spades, it has to be the ace of hearts, and it has to be the ace of clubs. So right now, once you find out he has 3 key cards, and you know exactly they are the 3 aces because you have the king of trumps and you have the ace of diamonds. So you know what you know? So you know that you have all the key cards. Now you want to set about to find out where is that queen of hearts, and does your partner have an outside king? So the next bid that you make over his response, either to the kickback or the blackwood key card, whatever bid he makes, you want to make a bid that asks for the queen of hearts. So the next suit that you bid that is not hearts, because if you bid 5 hearts, it's going to be a sign off. We'll be asking for the queen of trumps, and we'll be asking for an outside king. So I want to come down here and look at the hands now. So when Preston asked for that queen, his partner showed the queen and also showed the king of clubs. Now here comes your problem of where you're going to actually set this hand. So I want you to look double dummy. At double dummy, you see all the hands and you can see the biddings. It's not actually double dummy, but you see your partner's hand. Okay, North opened to no trump. North has 21 high card points, perfect to no trump. You know, I've told you all when you have a 5-card major and you've got 20 or 21 points, you want to open to no trump always. Preston's hand is over here on the right. He has the 13 high card points. He has the 5 hearts. He doesn't know what his partner has yet, but he knows he's got at least a small slam because he has 13. His partner's got a minimum of 20. That's 33. So Preston should start out by bidding 3 diamonds, the Jacoby transfer bid to hearts. Now the North hand has not only 4, he's got 5 hearts. So 4 hearts is the super accept bid, showing 4 hearts, still 20 or 21 high card points. Now we come back to Preston's hand. He wants to know about key card. If he bids 4 spades, which is kickback, you're going to show 3 key cards And so your bid would be not 4 no trump, which would show 1 or 4, but you'll have to bid 5 clubs. If you use 4 no trump as asking for your key cards, then your partner Preston is going to bid 5 diamonds showing 3 key cards. So whichever one you use, you know that your partner has 3 key cards. Now, if you've used kickback, he's bid 5 clubs. That allows you now to bid 5 diamonds to ask for the queen of hearts and to ask for an outside king. And if you did bid 5 diamonds, he will show the queen of hearts, and he will also bid 6 clubs showing the king of clubs. He's promising now the queen of hearts and the king of clubs. If you have used key card Blackwood, then your partner has bid 5 diamonds. You see, you can't bid 5 hearts because that would be a sign off. So what you do is you bid 5 spades. That is asking for the queen, and he's asking for an outside king. The north hand, again, would bid 6 clubs to show the queen of hearts and to show the king of clubs. Now, here's the problem. What do you know? You are south. What do you know about your partner's hand? Okay, you know your partner has 3 aces. That's 12 high card points. You now know your partner has the queen of hearts, which makes him 14. You know he has the king of clubs, which gives him 17. Okay, he is open to no trump. He's got to have 3 or 4 points. To have 20, minimum 20, he's got to have 3 more points. Does he have a queen and a jack? Does he have 3 jacks? Does he have 2? Does he have 2 queens? It makes a difference in what level you bid. I think Preston just jumped to 6 no trump, which I believe got pretty good score, got an 87% on it. 7 no trump does actually make, and you're looking at the hands, did you see that 7 no trump does make? Of course, 7 hearts makes and 6 hearts makes. Remember, I told you in a previous lesson, if it's a difference that on slam of being in a 6 major or a 6 no trump, always be in the no trump because it does score 10 points higher. Those people who simply gutted it out and bid 7 no trump, they had that wonderful queen jack 10 of diamonds, which then gives you your 7 tricks. I thought this was an extremely interesting hand, and it shows you trying to put together all the things that we have been studying over the past 6 or 7 months. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and stop record. Well,